guys, this is Linda Lampasso out of Colorado. Thanks so much, Sean, for having me on the call today. I'm really happy to be here to talk to you about what this business means to me. And when I got to really thinking about it, there was no way that I could talk about what the business means to me without including Family First Life in that. So this business anywhere else would never be the same. So with what we have in place with our systems and our culture and the lead generation, the carriers, everything we have going on, and the foundation that Sean Mike has put in place for all of us is really the only reason I can talk about what this business means to me. But personally, for me, this business is about knowing that I can take care of myself entirely, right? So from a financial standpoint, I think so many of us, we strive for that. We want to make sure that we're independent and that we can take care of ourselves, at least from a woman's perspective. And for me, that's where I'm grounded in this. And this idea that I control how much money I want to make. The sky is the limit. You know, the only limitation placed on me is going to be the limitation I place upon myself. And so that's what I've always loved about the playing field at Family First Life. And this idea that there's never any judgment. You know, there's nobody telling you what you have to do and how you're going to do it and how much of it you're going to do. It's always linked to what your own personal goals are. And for me, that's always been the case. So when I think back, and especially for me over the last couple of years, these have been the most challenging years of my life. And to be able to look at that and say, okay, well, what would have happened if I wasn't here, if I wasn't in this business? Where would we be? Where would our family be? You know, if I was answering to a boss or if I was in a corporate position somewhere, having some of the tragedies, you know, that have gone on for us over the last couple of years and the aftermath of that, I likely would have lost my job. I would have been on the streets. Instead, you know, this business has allowed me those freedoms to take time if I needed to go back out that next week and hustle a little harder when I could. But it's on my terms, nobody else's terms. And the culture that we have here at Family First Life, and this idea that, you know, I want to help people. You know, I come from a background in social work, and this is just an extension of that. Not only can I help people in the field, you know, the families that I'm able to help and the really hard decisions that I'm able to help people make, decisions that they might not have made if I hadn't been there to be able to transfer my energy, you know, with theirs and help them with that process. It is really what stands out for me. And then that carries over when we look at our culture within the company and how we're going to help other agents. And for me, my focus has really changed over the last couple of years. When I first got into this business, what drew me to it? It was tangible. Essentially, there was a lead, somebody sent in the information, and all I was going to do was call them up. So that was a no-brainer coming from real estate, you know, when things weren't so tangible. And it started out about, you know, this money-making, you know, cow, for lack of a better word. It was just going to be all about money, and we were going to get as much money as we could, and we were going to have the savings and pay off our debt, and very ego-driven early on. And over the last couple of years, it's been a little bit humbling for me. So my idea of success has changed. So for me, it's more about how can I serve others now? And maybe I'm not going to be driven by how much money necessarily I'm making, but more so, how can I serve others? And can I get out there and continue to just do what I know how to do and help people in the field, help agents? And when you really identify where, you know, what your why is and why you're doing this, why you're continuing to do this, and for me, why am I still here? It's because I'm still driven to serve. And why am I with Family First Life? Because above all else, the culture, the family that we have around the country, the support that's always there. And even if there aren't words spoken, there's an energetic field that we can tap into, and there's a connection that we all have as human beings, and especially within our culture at Family First Life, and all you have to do is tap into it. And for me, the more I do that, the more I have an underlying strength that when life throws those curveballs at us, and we're all going to get them. Obviously a lot of for me, I lost my only sister, my best friend. She was an agent with us. That changes your life. That changes who you are as a person. I know other people within Family First Life have had devastating losses, and somehow we have to keep moving forward. And your kids are going to get sick, and accidents are going to happen, and you're not going to feel good, and you're going to have to go through testing for yourself or whatever it is. What keeps us going during those times? It's hard to sometimes put that into words. One thing I can say is not losing momentum. So even those days I maybe don't feel like crawling out of bed, or in the past didn't feel like crawling out of bed, who's watching? Mike Killamit posted something that was just a crazy reminder. It was essentially, I thought about quitting, but then I thought about who was watching. And that doesn't mean for me, all the other agents in the company. It was more for me, my children. My children are watching. They're noticing, hey, Mom, you're not working as much as you were before. What's going on? And for me, it's about, what do I want to show my kids? Do I want them to see that when life gets rough, we're going to hide under the covers and we're going to lose everything? Or do I want them to see, yeah, when life gets rough, it's tough. It's hard to get out there in the field, but we find a way to do it. We take care of ourselves. We work out, we meditate, whatever we need to do. We plug into our mentors. That's what I've done. And it works out. And the knowing that we are always going to be taken care of. And for me, that's how I've been able to push through it and continue on to have success here at Family First. So I hope that's helped, guys. And again, Sean, thanks so much for having me. You guys have an awesome week.